Driven by a lifelong passion for literature, Abel Ragen, Ph.D., carved out an accomplished career in education that has spanned several teaching positions and academic institutions around the world. A well-read, cultured, and inspiring intellectual, Dr. Ragen has devoted himself to broadening the minds of his countless students and contributing all he can, both academically and civically. After the death of his parents when he was young, Dr. Ragen was raised by his aunt, a professor of history at San Diego State University who served as a great influence in deciding his future. Naturally, he built his future on the foundation of a strong education. He attended Pomona College, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in 1980 and found great inspiration from two professors, Martha Anderson and Edward Copeland. He then continued his studies at Princeton University, graduating with a Master of Arts in 1983. Dr. Ragen launched his career as a lecturer at Princeton in 1984 and held the post until 1988. Concurrently, he lectured at Bryn Mawr College from 1986 to 1987 and completed his education by obtaining a Doctor of Philosophy from Princeton in 1987. His areas of instructional expertise were in 20th century American literature, heraldry, liturgy and hymnody, and religious literature. From 1988 to 2013, Dr. Ragen excelled as an assistant, associate, adjunct, and full professor at Southern Illinois University. After his retirement in 2013, he was honored with emeritus status. Besides working as an educator, Dr. Ragen supported education as a philanthropist, endowing scholarships and fellowships at Pomona College, Princeton University, Fontbonne University, and William Penn University. Reflecting on his time as an instructor, he fondly recalls the joy of seeing the students become excited about the great tradition of English American literature for the first time. Along with his primary responsibilities, Dr. Ragen also found success as a visiting professor at Hong Kong Baptist University in 2010. Additionally, he has been active as a board member of St. Louis Cathedral Concerts since 2000, a volunteer with the Order of St. John in 2014 and St. Louis Fisher House in 2015, and a trustee with Fontbonne University since 2015. He has also been a secretary and board member at the Fieldhouse Museum and a volunteer with more than 300 hours of service with the Department of Veterans Affairs. On top of his expertise in a lecture hall, Dr. Ragen has contributed his knowledge to many written works too. He has authored 2 books, A Wreck on the Road to Damascus, Innocence, Guilt, and Conversion in Flannery O'Connor in 1989, and Tom Wolfe, A Critical Companion in 2002, as well as numerous articles for popular and professional publications and major works on heraldry, hymnody, and literary canon. Between 1992 and 2008, he served as the editor of the scholarly journal Papers on Language and Literature, which he considers his great service to his profession. He has also held office in several scholarly organizations, including as coordinator of the American Literature section of the Modern Language Association of America, as a board member of the Conference on Christianity and Literature, and as a founding vice president of the American Religion and Literature Society. Dr. Ragen has always tried to bring literature out of the classroom. He has often spoken and sometimes even sung to meetings of the English-speaking Union. In 2018, he produced a CD entitled Words to Music, Songs of Eugene Field, featuring acclaimed opera soprano Christine Brewer and tenor Scott Kennebec performing poems by the American poet best known for his works for children. Dr. Ragen's interest in music is reflected in his memberships in the American Recorder Society and the Country Dance and Song Society, as well as his philanthropic support for a number of performing arts organizations. Dr. Ragen also brought his scholarly interest in heraldry and chivalry out of the library and into his daily life. After publishing a major article on semiotics and heraldry, he sought a grant of arms from Her Majesty's College of Arms. As he had been honored by the Queen when she sanctioned his appointment as an officer in the most venerable Order of St. John, he qualified for a grant of honorary arms, despite his American citizenship. He has worked tirelessly to serve the charitable ends of the Order of St. John, serving on the chapter of the Priory in the United States and acting as the first leader of the St. John Volunteer Corps in the Midwest. He now holds the high grade of Knight of Justice. He is also a longtime member of the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre, in which he is now a Knight Grand Cross. In 2019, he became a Knight of Magisterial Grace of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. He now devotes a great deal of time to serving the sick and the poor, both through the St. John Volunteer Corps and the Department of Veteran Affairs, and through Malta Mobile Ministries, which supplies logistical support to many charities. Though he is now retired, Dr. Ragen remains active and is currently working on a book about the revision of traditional hymns in modern hymnals. He also spends his free time singing, playing the recorder, and cooking. Looking toward the future, he hopes that the next generation understands the importance of being cultured and well-read in whatever job they might hold. According to him, he has most benefited from always following the truth and not intellectual fashions. On that note, he hopes to be remembered by his peers as someone whose writing is enjoyable and who tried to understand the world and the traditions that modern cultures sprang from while also being aware of recent developments.